from the get-go, you have to target the culture that is creating this more like homophobic context, because it starts from the beginning, and it starts like just amongst the people, and that is what makes it reach everywhere. I'm a non-binary lesbian. I live in LA. I have a master's in forensic linguistics.
Cool.
So I'm a big linguistics nerd. I like historical costuming and hockey, of course.
How did Biddy get into hockey?
So I grew up as a Kings fan the way that a kid with a dad who's a Kings fan does. Just going to games every once in a while. Hockey was always like my favorite sport, but I didn't really know anything or do anything with it. And then about 3 years ago, I just decided to like hockey in November, and by Christmas, I was reading the rule book.
That's
So
hilarious.
I dove in, and I've been really into it ever since.
That's really cool. And what do you love about hockey?
It's such a vibrant game. It's so engaging, and there's so much. I love watching the strategies all play out,
Mm-hmm.
and just the different ways that it can go. I've always disliked games where you can't pass backwards. Um, I really like the idea of being able to go backwards to make progress. Um, so it's such a vibrant and fun game, and the community can be so wonderful at times that
Mm-hmm.
it's just there's so much heart in it, and I love that.
I like that. How could hockey be better for you and for the queer community?
I mean, from the get-go, you have to target the culture that is creating this more like homophobic context, because it starts from the beginning, and it starts like just amongst the people, and that is what makes it reach everywhere. Um, and so, I mean, as far as my own understanding, LA Pride Night started because of transphobia at a game.
Wow.
I was talking to the girl who was the reason it happened in the first place. And Pride Night in LA start, at least as far as my understanding is, started because someone was awful to her, and then the fans rallied together. So like it was very much the community coming together and saying, no, we're not going to take this anymore. And I think that that's really important, is showing that it's a place that can be safe, and having people speak up and be like, no, we're not going to put up with this. And then not putting up with that from teams, and not putting up with it from coaches and players, like actually following through when someone says that that's not okay.
I love that. I didn't know. I'm saddened to hear that somebody experienced transphobia, but I'm to your point of going backwards to go forward, I'm happy that, a step was taken
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah,
rally, and that, the community, the hockey community there rallied. That's a nice outcome from a horrible thing happening.
agreed.
Knowing the way the culture is and everything, what keeps you in hockey?
I just love it so much that, like, fear and discomfort, you have to consider them in terms of safety, but you also have to remember that, like, if you love something and it makes you happy, you can find a way. I mean,
Mhm.
I feel like that's just at the heart of queerness, is perseverance through difficulty. And it shouldn't have to be, but it's there.
What gives you hope for queer people within the sport?
I think that the community is starting to, the hockey community is starting to move forward at least a little bit. And like you and Curtis Gabriel and Jessica Platt, like hearing those voices and seeing queer people speak up about their experiences. And women's hockey has so many queer people
Yes,
in it. It's a wonderful place for representation. And I think that embracing those stories and embracing those voices and hearing them more in men's hockey would make a huge difference.
I like that. I like that so much. And actually, we interviewed Jessica not long ago today. So you were
I
shortly
I love her.
after.
She's great.
She's the best. Is there anything you would like to add?
I think that it's really interesting the way that hockey is such can be this such like masculine sport, but it when you combine that with queerness, you can get something so beautiful. Um, like my friend and I were gonna go to the LA Kings Pride Night last year with our dads, who we have kind of complicated relationships because of queerness, but bonding over hockey in the context of a Pride Night was gonna be a really important big moment. And like, I don't know, hockey was gonna be a facilitator for something really great.
Sport can unite us,
Yeah,
and it can break barriers, and can be a tool to empower and inspire and also humanize, if we let it. Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, Biddy, thank you so much. You are lovely. And I'm so happy to have you in the space and in the hockey community.
Thank you for doing this. I think this is a great idea.
Thank you.